Hey guys, we're going to jump into operating the Grand MA at Germantown Parkway, the first video. And what you're looking at here are all the screens that you'll see at Germantown Parkway on the actual console. So again, what we're using at Germantown Parkway is a Grand MA 2 Ultralight. Contains 15 faders, quite a few buttons, and what we have set up out there on the actual console, there's only two screens. It's going to be this small screen right here, which is like your color picker, and then some X keys right here. And then you have screen 2, which is going to be directly above this small screen built into the actual console. Now at Germantown Parkway, we do have two external screens, and screen 6 is going to be to the far left, and then screen 5 is going to be to the right of that one, directly in the middle of the console, if you want to say that. So let's start on the far left screen and what we're actually seeing. Basically, what we're seeing is a layout view of our stage, kind of from a bird's eye view, and it doesn't, match up directly with what's on stage, but it gives you a good idea, and you'll memorize it as you go. But basically, like, you'll have your elf pars up here, you'll have your far left and far right noble genes, and you can actually take a mouse and select these lights individually like I'm doing right now. But I'm going to clear that out as I continue talking. XPs, and then you have your other lights on the ground, such as your noble genes, your 7Rs, and then your CB72s on the pipe grid in the back behind the screen. So you can actually switch views. You can look at just your movers. You can look at just your LEDs, like your LED pars and your CB72s. You can look at just the front wash, or you can look at the whole conventional layout. And basically, conventional layout is all the incandescent lights, basically not LEDs. It's all the lights that are on dimmers. So that's pretty much all you got to know on screen 6, or the far left screen on the console at Germantown Parkway. This next screen is probably the most important for you, and this is where you're going to find the actual service flow of the actual service. So we basically start off with your pre-service, your clock, and you go through your songs, and you're going to bust through all these songs and do all your different buttons, everything like that. And then you'll jump into the speaking part of the service, which is announcements. There's videos, there's meet and greet, and then there's VTech cues right here. Pretty much everything in orange has to do with VTech. So really these first 3 cues right here are going to be a part of the video, and then the second 2 cues in this orange color pretty much come out of VTech to where there's a live speaker on stage. And this will make more sense when you're actually training in the moment. And then your salmon-like color right here, it's mainly for when there's a live speaker there, like if the campus pastor is speaking there at Germantown Parkway. And the blue cues, I didn't mention up top too. Blue cues, they're dedicated to worship. And then you just go through the rest of the service if there's a video, closing, and then post-service. So this row down here, we're talking about the faders. So each of these corresponds with the actual physical fader on the console. So for instance, fader 1, you can use your actual fader on the console to control the intensity of this fader, which it should always be at 100%, nowhere below that, because everything is built into these cues to make the lights come up and down and do what they need to do. And so the second executor right here is going to be for positions. This is what changes the positions to the lights on stage during worship. And then you have your group masters. It's these executors that are in orange right here, and basically they only control intensity. You see that there's no cues built into them. It only controls the intensity of these lights: XP 300s, 7R Sharpies, Noble Gene 350s, LPARs, and CB72s. And then moving on right here, you have your individual vocal spots: left, middle, and then right. And then you have your Speedmaster right here, which will control the actual tempo of the song and be on the right beat of the worship team. 7R Frost is kind of an effect. It mainly just throws in a frost on the 7R lights to make the beam kind of disappear. Then you have your band wash, which lights up guitars, keyboards, drums. You have your vocal spots, and then you have your main front wash for speaking segments. This row down here, pretty much this is where all your effect information lives. So like chases and color chases, strobes. You have some special cues set in there for, the build, like if the drums build into a measure and then go into a chorus, you can do something like that. There's group chases, there's wing chases, and then hits. And then you have another Speedmaster right here, which basically that is the same thing as this. It's just that this Speedmaster is on a fader, and this one is just a button that controls the tempo. So that is screen 5, which again is the middle external screen at Germantown Parkway. We have screen 2 right here. And this screen, like I said earlier, is directly above the smaller screen on the console. And basically, this is mainly used for programming. It contains all your preset information, your groups, your different effects, different layers, all that good stuff. We'll dive more into that later on. But what I want to do is, well, I'll explain this one more time, or actually, I'll explain it for the first time, this go-to button, which can become your friend if the service gets changed up on you at the last second. So let's say that we are in, let's say we're in announcements on Q107. So I'm going to go there, or there, and yeah, you actually see here on the layout view that your intensities are actually changing. So if they wanted to say, let's not go to video, let's go straight to meet and greet. This shouldn't really ever happen, but just for an example, you have a loop set, which is right here. And it says go to video, this isn't the greatest example, but it will show you what to do. Let's say you don't want to go to video anymore and you want to go to meet and greet. Basically what you'll do is just hit go to Q110 and you'll hit please, and then you're in meet and greet. Pretty simple. Now if you go back, let's go back to announcements. You'll never use a loop to go to the very next cue. That's just what I did for this example, but basically it's going to jump straight to video now. If you go to message VTech, let's go back, you'll see that can actually jump. So boom, let go and it goes to message VTech. So that pretty much wraps up this portion of the video. We're going to move on to our next video, which gets more into each screen. Probably mainly your sequences and everything about how to set loops, all that good stuff. So stay tuned and we'll get to this next video here soon.